The foul means nothing at all. Nothing at all. And maybe the foul could be the start of it all.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast. If you purchased any cryptocurrency or NFTs back in 2021, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha.
I did, but I sold them all.
Got him.
Reversal.
Anyway, we got a great
card.
show lined up today. I've got directly to my, what is that, the right or the left? I can't tell. That way?
The reft. It's the reft.
It's the
reft.
light. That way.
Left.
Over there. Over there. That way. That guy.
That's me. Yep.
That's Jason.
Yep.
Down there.
Sure is.
That's Schloobs. And hey, Dylan, while you're down there.
He got him. Got him again.
Damn it.
We got a lot of got-ems today.
Yeah, we did.
A lot of got-em.
It's been a few weeks since we've had a regular broadcast. A lot of shit's happened.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it
No
has.
kidding.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild, and we've got, I think, a pretty solid lineup today. At least of articles, at least of a few React videos. We're going to talk about some of the November releases that we're excited about. Watch a few of those trailers, but yeah. Are we ready to get started?
I mean, I don't see why not. How about you guys?
If we could
Got
start
the green light
stream
for
over,
me.
actually.
What was that, Schloobs?
Can we start the stream over? Actually, I wasn't ready.
No, we already started it over once.
Did I get a do-over?
Well, I don't see anybody on... Oh, there's one on the view count. We'll get some people trickling in, but I say we get started with the first story
We have
here.
a viewer.
With the first
viewer.
story here.
Nobody panic.
And this one's from The Guardian. Yeah, this is probably like the biggest news that's out right now, because it's ongoing. So let's go ahead and give this a look.
Oh, the cesspool called Twitter.
Right? This is a complete and utter insanity, but we're just going to cover this from The Guardian here, read this article, and then we'll discuss. So here we go. Twitter's relaunched premium service, which grants blue check verification labels to anyone willing to pay $8 a month, was unavailable on Friday after the social media platform was flooded by a wave of imposter accounts approved by Twitter. The latest move caps a chaotic start from the new subscription service, one of the first major changes made by Elon Musk after taking over the company 2 weeks ago. Before his $44 billion purchase of the company, Blue Check was granted to celebrities and journalists verified by the platform precisely to prevent impersonation. Now anyone can get one as long as they have a phone, a credit card, and $8 a month. But the new service swiftly fell victim to imposters, with users parroting everyone from Pope Francis to George W. Bush. The pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly and Co. was forced to apologize after an imposter account tweeted that insulin was free. Nintendo, Lockheed Martin, Musk-owned Tesla, and SpaceX were also impersonated, as well as the accounts of various professional sports figures. For advertisers who have put their businesses in Twitter on hold, the fake accounts could be the last straw, as Musk's rocky run atop the platform, laying off half the workforce and triggering high-profile departures, raises questions about its survivability. There are now two categories of blue checks, and they look identical. One includes the accounts verified before Musk took the helm, and notes that this account is verified because it's notable in government, news, entertainment, or another designated category, a message that can be seen by clicking on the checkmark itself. The other notes that the account subscribes to Twitter Blue. An email sent to Twitter's press address went unanswered. The company's communications department was gutted in the layoffs. On Thursday, Musk tweeted that too many corrupt Legacy Blue verification checkmarks exist, so no choice but to remove Legacy Blue in coming months. Twitter Blue was not available on the platform's online version, which said sign-up was only possible on the iPhone version, but the iPhone version did not offer Twitter Blue as an option. Twitter also once again began adding gray official labels to some prominent accounts. It had rolled out the labels earlier this week, only to kill them a few hours later. They returned on Thursday night, at least for some accounts, including Twitter's own, as well as big companies like Amazon, Nike, and Coca-Cola, before many vanished again. Celebrities also did not appear to be getting the official label. So let's check this little montage here that was made up. I'm going to pause it occasionally so we can read some of these because they're quite funny.
Montage.
How do I change it? Also, fuck you, Elon, from Doja Cat, because she named herself Christmas. I don't want to be Christmas forever. I bought bought Twitter Blue to edit a tweet. Didn't work, and it replaced my real checkmark.
Is this music going to be copyright or?
I don't know. I voted for Mario Flores. First time I ever voted Republican. Massive red wave in 2022.
Yeah,
definitely
we all
did
know how
not
that
happen.
went.
Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh won't stop calling me and talking about genitalia. Just Mario flipping him off.
I saw that Mario flipping him off. I saw that.
Oh my god.
U.S. Department of Breast
What was that?
Services.
Let's see.
The U.S. Department of Breast Services. They
Are you
handle
guys affiliated?
enforcement. We handle regulatory compliance for chest-based affairs.
Paranormal and breastification.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Wait, what was that Apple TV one?
That's what I was wondering. Like, oh,
Where
shit, what?
originals live? I don't know. I don't see the funny on that one.
I'm confused by that one.
Verified
Me
Blue
too.
badge source. Blue is now available for free. Crypto NFT holders can now get Twitter Blue for free by authenticating their wallet assets.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
P.S. There might be. Wait, what did that say? It's a P.S. There might be someone with an NFT.
Rudy Giuliani, I stand with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West because George Soros once pushed me down the street and I was struck on my back like a turtle for several minutes. I am hereby issuing a challenge to Alan Dersh, Street Beefs, come get some Dersh. There can only be one dusty old pedophile attorney around these parts.
Wow.
Helen Keller is a dusty, fraudulent bitch pushed on us by globalist media. I will neither confirm nor deny the reports. I made a big stinky doo-doo on Air Force One. All I know is after Roger Stone used a bathroom, it would smell brazy in there. Talk to me like a man with a mortgage. Oh, shit. Trans women are women, no longer Team Turf, y'all. Twitter is now the most accurate source of information about the world for Dave Chappelle. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, not gonna lie, I did that shit.
Knew it! I fucking knew it!
I was always wondered what a woman's body feels like and looks like in real life without clothes. That would be so cool. The first time I entered my human wife, I said, groaning into her ear, this is exactly how mother said it would feel. Oh, oh my God, you got me kind of horny right now, Mr. Cruz. Have you ever tasted the entrails of a man, Ben? There is no carnal pleasure as delectable. Ted, stop. They aren't supposed to know about us.
Wow.
What do you mean by
This is going wild, man.
that shit is on fire?
I'm all over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. The left says I can't make my wife wet. Well, yesterday she pissed the bed. Owned libs triggered much. Oh my god. I miss killing Iraqis.
That's posted in gaming.
Oh my god, dude.
Hey, look at the date. Look at the date. Look at the date. 9/11/2020.
Oh my.
Oh my god. That deserves a lot more credit and a lot more than it got.
Y'all are missing the point about the $8 is a small price to make this app completely unusable, and I'm assuming is going to quickly learn we can get refunds from our credit cards we used if he suspends us prior to a month. Is that what I would say if I was someone other than the greatest president America has ever known? A verified Mario gave everyone the middle finger, and President Biden is talking about sucking his own penis. Elon just laughs at it.
You know, I'll be honest with you. If I were Elon Musk, I would lean the fuck into this. I really would.
Starting today, we begin offering Twitter Gold, a free subscription that gives you yearly family vacations and nightly dinners with me. If your name is Grimes, please come back. I love you. Oh, dang.
Wow.
Ouch.
That's wild, dude. Damn, dude. Let's go back to that.
God, that meme is disgusting. Ah, yuck. I remember that.
God damn. Well, needless to say, there's been a complete and utter shitstorm on the platform. And it's been, in my opinion, I was a little bit worried that we were going to have, some problems with the elections due to this Twitter, absurdity. But it turns out that the elections went, I guess, a little bit well. It wasn't, the red wave that everybody was talking about. And
Well,
The theory behind that, because I read up on a couple of people that I had subscribed to on Snapchat, like Brian Cohen, I think is his name, and he thinks, and it's not just him saying this too. I've heard a couple of others pretty much say the same thing, or Pod Save America. They said they theorized the reason why this predicted red wave was a complete flop was because majority of like the Senate and the governors that were running in the election, a lot of them were actually Trump endorsed, and a lot of people and vast majority of those Republicans that ran for whatever position they were in on the Republican docket were Trump endorsed. Majority of them failed.
well, one thing that happened too, let me move this real quick. Whoop, wrong way.
Well, I think part of the reason it failed is because people actually think Trump is still relevant. He really shouldn't be. But this celebrifying of politicians is not a new thing at all.
No,
and yet it
it's
continues to happen. I mean, politicians should not be seen as celebrities, and they should make the same wages that any other working class American makes.
So a few things happened on this. So the one main thing that happened was a Democratic, and not as in like talking about democracy, but the Democrats, they played a very dangerous game by endorsing and spending a bunch of Democrat money in endorsing and promoting the craziest candidates they could possibly find. And I'm going to say, like, even though that happened to have pulled off in this midterm, that's a dangerous thing to be doing. Because if those guys actually do get elected for some reason and you paid a bunch of money into that, these are some wackos. These are like some, Q conspiracy theorist. I mean, hell, it was Herschel Walker was one of the candidates. There was an open, outright fascist that was running in Illinois. And I mean, it's just pretty insane.
Who
But
was
then
that?
the other thing is that Gen Z came out in droves. Like
Oh yeah,
millennials,
they
we
did.
kind of sucked. I'm just saying, millennials sucked. Gen Z
Oh no, us
came
Gen
out and
Zs, we had
fucking
enough. Oh yeah, we came at full force, and we were sick of their shit. We were
right,
because we knew that the reason why, like we all knew, like as when Roe versus Wade got overturned, we knew exactly for us that are not blinded by, oh, God was in the courtroom bullshit,
yeah,
like me, for example. I know for certain that was not the reason for that at all. For those that see the way that I see it, which again, majority of us see it, we know that the Republicans played a huge role in this. So therefore, how do we get back at them for this, and how can we possibly undo this overturn? By taking
right,
that power away from them. That's how. So therefore, that's why. Hell, there was even videos of Gen Zs like completely, like they were like packing the polls, like there was lines for them, and they literally stood in line just to vote.
right.
That's how crowded it got.
Well, and that's been an ongoing problem is that you know, predominantly blue districts are, you know, they don't get as easy a chance to vote. They limit the amount of polling stations. It's all kinds of different tactics that they're doing there, but overall, those were two of the main factors: is the Democrats promoting wacky, insane, Q conspiracy theorist candidates and complete and utter idiots like Herschel Walker. And I think they succeeded. But yeah, I want
It's
to.
probably also worth mentioning that like I'm 90% sure that the poll predictions are never accurate, and I think that they're a tool used to try and leverage like your regular like swing voter
Yeah,
to go a certain direction. So like you had all of these Republicans that are like red wave, and the poll predictions and stuff like that, and I feel that was almost kind of made up because that's I mean, it's not as it's basically just a survey, so you could very easily manipulate that survey by just changing who you send it to. You know what I
well,
mean?
I'm just saying that when it comes to the GOP, which
Hmm.
the thing that I'm not liking, and it's just a continued trend, is that a lot of running Democrats are afraid to just say the Republican Party. They keep saying GOP Republicans as though those are separate from just regular Republicans. But I feel like we really need to just continue to push back on this just wild BS. But they're treating it like almost no different than like a religious service. I mean, there was this clip that I saw where they're like grabbing some arrow or something like that and then just like striking it into the ground, just saying strike or something like that. Let me see if I can find that.
Also, now I don't know if this was confirmed true or not. But I guess at certain voting polls, and I think it was probably more in the more predominantly red states, if you will, that there was people who were right wing extremists. They
I
stood at the polls
I
with
saw
with military gear on, with AR-15s. I think that could be another reason why why this again predicted red wave plot, because I mean I'm not going to vote for a party that's literally going to that associates themselves with people that do crazy crap like that. I mean, like
Right.
seriously, you're going to dress up in military outfit and have an AR-15 or just a weapon of any sort. It could have been a Glock 9mm for all I care. A gun is a gun, and you're going to go to the bowling poles and act like you're going to protect them from the terrorists or something. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I heard
Seriously?
I saw some Reddit posts about how like there's this couple that live in a very small town that is mostly full of QAnon and uh, Republican voters, and how when they went to go vote, they had like several QAnon fucking um, I don't want to say extremists, but basically like nutcases hanging out there and basically trying to sign themselves up or make themselves into poll watchers when really they're just being nosy fuckers and trying to go through and interfere with the election process.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
like what they rated the state capital over
Well, and what's funny
and
too
still
is
try to deny.
I saw. I had somebody on my Facebook recently. Sorry, my dog's attacking me. I had a Facebook post recently.
Sorry, my dog's attacking me.
where I saw. Where
I'm in
somebody,
danger.
where I had an uncle making fun of that. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't win the lottery, and I'm pretty sure I saw buckets full of my winning numbers sitting next to the to the drawing or whatever. So they're obviously hiding the lottery from me." But
Yeah. I'm not finding this video here.
It's official, though. Republican states are North Korea.
Essentially.
Yeah,
how we
essentially.
tell
They're
you
not
or
quite
die.
there yet, but they're heading there.
It's not surprising that Trump actually likes a lot of dictators. Like, he very often will just kind of mention how much, oh yeah, this dictator, him and I agree or whatever. And it's like, dude, why exactly are you saying
He called Putin a
that?
fucking genius when the invasion of Ukraine started, and people
Right.
are still voting for this fucker, thinking that he's the most American freaking Star Spangled Banner person that there freaking is on this godforsaken planet. Really?
Yeah.
You think?
I mean, if you think about it, he kind of is.
He does still hold a lot of power, but I think that he's waning to DeSantis, personally.
Well,
I
and
don't know,
I think
I mean-
I've heard some portion of it, but not a very large portion. But some Republicans are considering just putting Trump in the rearview mirror, as in moving away from him, which they should have done that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have some respect for the Republican Party before Trump got elected. And then now I just look at them like they're just absolute nutcases. I can't respect any of them, because it's just that, like, whatever you say, if it even just 1% not aligned with what they believe, nope, you're un-American. You're for this, you're for that. You're with the deep state or some crazy bull crap like that, and that's just I hate it. I hate it.
So this is unfortunately I can't get the original clip right now, but I want to pull this up because this was really eye-opening when I saw this. And the thing that's eye-opening about it specifically is that when it comes to, like, the way that Democrats run for political office and the way that Republicans run for political office, Republicans are making it more and more of kind of like a ritualistic or a religious type experience that they're trying to invoke in a lot of these people. Unfortunately, I could only find a reacted clip from David Pakman that shows this clip of these Republicans, but it's really kind of like a stark difference, and it's kind of creepy. So let's give this a watch.
Before you hit play on that, I just want to point out his face. Ooh. He's doing his best impression of white noise.
Right.
when you take that first sip of Dr. Pepper.
Right.
Wake in America.
When you see your bro get kicked in the nuts. Ooh.
Let me get this Firefox turned up here. Okay.
Trump, one of Donald Trump's children, has been a regular attendee at these events. This is a little clip from right before Tuesday's election where they are striking the ground with imaginary arrows to call upon God to win the midterm elections for them.
How many believe we're going to have a victory on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Believe, praise Jesus.
So come on, let's give a victory shout. Let's strike the ground and let's give a victory shout on the count of three. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So here we go. Get your arrows out and just go strike.
And strike and strike.
Strike. Strike.
They got
Come
the
on,
band
come
and
on,
everything.
Strike. Come on. Strike. Come on, strike the ground. Strike.
They've got the band and everything, huh?
Strike. Come on. Come on. Strike. Strike.
Ooh, this is I'm cringing. I'm really cringing.
Come on.
Are they
Come on. Six.
Wait a
Watch a bunch
minute.
of Neanderthals.
Are you serious? They're calling what Democrats are running for the Great Reset. Oh my God! Not this new world.
That's straight up.
shit
That's
again.
straight up fascist shit. I'm just saying. Like, that's for ages upon ages
Well,
has been like a
listen-
fascist conspiracy theory.
But they're calling
it's like
the Great Awakening versus the Great Reset. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I know where the Great Reset comes from. It's it's like this the mother. It's like the omelet of all far right wing conspiracy theories. That like the New World. I'm sure y'all have heard of the New World Order conspiracy theory. That's basically another term used to describe the New World Order as the Great Reset.
Right.
But are they trying to take over like the whole like being woke like statement with the whole Great
That's just a
Awakening
part of
thing?
it. That's just a part of it.
Yeah, and see, and here's what's funny about this woke thing. I love how the governor of Florida that ran on the Republican docket won, and says that where the Florida is a state where the woke come to die, but yet at the same time they also use the term being woke to listening to all the baseless conspiracy theories about the New World Order and people and putting nanites in our vaccines to become 5G towers.
Right? It's a wild one. Let's finish the rest of this. This is
I'm getting
pretty...
pretty good reception on my 5G personally.
Yeah, me too.
Come on, victory, 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 victory!
Okay.
They're jamming.
Where is this on our Venn diagram? Where is this on the Venn diagram of cult brainwashing, simple ignorance, and mental illness? I think it's a very difficult question, and I think it's an interesting question. It's not about making fun of these people. Now, you know...
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
It absolutely
Well,
is.
they make it easy.
I'm sorry, but ridicule is the only way that we can get past this eventually. And some of those people, I hate... It's bad to say, it really is. But the threat that they are, it's like, well, some of them are just going to eventually die off. We won't have to deal with them. Because it really is getting to the case where people who grew up in an education system that requires you to actually do research and know what proper research is, a lot of these older generation are ill-equipped and they're ill-equipped to figure that information out. And then beyond that, many of them are very stubborn to even try to change, to learn that skill. But I think
because they're taught that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But here's the thing: they weren't taught what to know is truly broken and what isn't truly broken.
Right.
And they think that what's going on now is not broken, and that repealing and then that overturning Roe versus Wade was mending the way things are supposed to be, when really no, all you're doing is just dividing your country, which is supposed to be founded on the union of one, is completely doing the exact opposite. Yeah, that's not freedom, and that's not unifying anything. You're just dividing it even more. That's the thing with Trump, and that's what Trumpers don't understand. Trump was not unifying anything. He wasn't making anything great. He was dividing us. That's what's killing us, is the division. It's not that, Republicans are saying this or Democrats are saying that. It's because we're letting people who think that they're gods and think that they're above the law and think they can do whatever they say and say or want, because they think, oh, well, I'm this guy, I'm above everybody. Well, so I'm going to say this and say that, and I don't care what anybody says, because I know everything, and science doesn't know everything too. Don't forget.
Right. Well, I think we've covered enough on politics.
I got three things to say about that last clip specifically. First of all, these fools think that God gives a damn about politics.
Yeah.
First of all,
he doesn't. Yeah,
our
God
tiny blue dot.
Yeah, exactly. And secondly, Tiny Shields, those edgy youth groups from church. Are you talking about the same ones that have that ultra cool youth pastor that was suspiciously close with one of the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah. And thirdly, going back to the Republican pundits, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I really, really hope she becomes president one day, because then terrorists will not attack us for fear that she will eat them.
I'll pass.
Just saying, it would secure our borders a lot better than any other Republican ever has before.
I don't really think that our borders are massively under attack.
By borders, I mean our security, national security.
I'll take my chances.
More so than actual
Like
borders.
Tiny Shield says, that lady is just complete and utter batshit crazy.
But I've
got a palate cleanser, hopefully, here.
Please.
So
I want to get the taste of politics out of my mouth.
Right.
That's
Is that a nice chair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it better than the one you
Yay.
have at home?
I can tell.
Yeah, you have a chair.
I
Don't
can tell myself.
you? Yeah.
No way.
Remember, Mom and Dad bought it for you.
I have a mom. Oh my god.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
No.
You know you have two sisters too.
Oh my god! Where are they?
Well, they're at work.
Oh
They gotta
my
work.
god! I can't believe I have sisters.
Then you have a dog.
Oh
Isn't that cool? He's a big dog.
my god! I love big dogs.
Do you remember his name?
What's his
His
name?
name is Bane.
Oh my god! Just like Batman!
He can't remember his dog's name, but he can remember Batman.
Right?
God.
Hey, wisdom tooth surgery.
That makes it a
very,
little
My life is perfect.
My life is perfect.
I mean, I'll
That
tell
guy.
you what, just seeing that video specifically compared to a lot of these other after dentistry wake up videos, fucking, it makes me wonder what I was doing wrong all those years. I was an addict not to trip that hard. Just
Right.
saying.
Right?
So sometimes I kind of wonder if some of these videos are a little like fake though, because we actually had somebody at work recently who took his daughter to get some dental work done or whatever, and she had to have like root canal or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they gassed her and everything like that. And supposedly the dentist offices now won't allow you to bring a camera in, or like you're not allowed to record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean,
I don't
there
know.
was a sign in the background that said that there was no videotaping allowed or something like that. I did see that in the background. I just happened to catch a glimpse of that.
Oh.
But then again, I mean, how are they going to? But I mean, how are they going to enforce that though?
Fair enough.
They could
But-
come in and say, hey, you can't, and then all you'd have to say is, this for my protection.
Well-
Right?
I feel like that guy wasn't exactly being quiet about it either.
Yeah, he was being pretty loud. But anyway, that was the
well,
palate cleanser.
That was an extremely wholesome moment, just
Yes,
saying. It
it
really
was.
was. And
It
I
was.
feel like if the nurses tried to stop it, they would probably get destroyed on the new Twitter by a guy who's claiming to be the Pope.
Right?
I almost
But,
forgot we were talking about politics.
Unfortunately, we have to go into a little bit of potentially sad news, but I don't want it to be sad, okay? I want it to be a moment where we kind of just talk about these various icons from media. The first icon being Gallagher. Gallagher passed away recently at the age of 76. And it was kind of weird because I mentioned this over at work and to a couple people, and those people didn't even know who Gallagher was. And I was like, man, you're missing out. There's a lot of media out there.
How
so-
old were they?
Younger. It's a younger crowd.
Of course they were younger.
Yeah.
I know who Gallagher is. Yeah,
If you're over the age of 31, you know who Gallagher is,
Right.
yeah, I know who Gallagher is.
just in general.
So
Yeah,
let's. I'm going to read this article from NBC News, and we can watch a video of Gallagher.
One second. Babe, Gallagher was the guy that smashed watermelons with a hammer. Yeah, she knows who he is, just didn't know his name.
Comedian.
Yeah.
She even knew who he was, but she didn't know who he was.
Comedian Leo
Yeah.
Gallagher, who was known simply by his last name and became famous for smashing watermelons with a mallet on stage, died on Friday morning, according to his family. He was 76. Gallagher died from organ failure while in hospice care in his Palm Springs, California home. His son-in-law told NBC News he had been unwell and had multiple heart attacks.
See, I always thought he was going to get taken out by some kind of like fruit-based accident. But
Born in
Or by
Fort-
a giant hammer from the watermelon people.
Born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina in 1946, Gallagher got his start in the industry as a road manager for musical comic Jim Stafford, Deadline reports. He first appeared on TV on ABC's The Jim Stafford Show, which aired in 1975, according to the outlet. In 1980, Gallagher's comedy stand-up special, An Uncensored Evening, was the first to ever air on cable television, according to his longtime former manager, Craig Marquardo. That's an interesting name, Marquardo. Anyway.
I thought you were going to say Craig was an interesting name.
Oh. He rose to fame from his signature sketch Sledge-O-Matic, where he'd take a large handmade wooden mallet and smash a variety of foods before ending, in the main act, a watermelon. The comedian who often wore a Tam O'Shanter hat appeared on many talk shows throughout his career, including David Letterman's NBC and CBS shows, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, Match Game, The Hollywood Squares, and Howard Stern's TV and radio programs, according to Deadline. On one visit to The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1979, Gallagher took aim at fellow guest and comedian Chevy Chase. Hey, we talked about him before. Who said his routine was pretty much set up by machines, the outlet reported. Of course, Chevy Chase has to talk shit about Gallagher.
Oh, yeah.
Chevy doesn't like it if somebody else gets a laugh, Gallagher said, to which Chase responded, "Just for the record, I think he's a fine young comedian, and I think he's going a long way. For the record, you don't matter," replied Gallagher. Fucking shot down, dude. Gallagher was the #1 comedian in America for 15 years, with comedy specials airing on Showtime and MTV. In his career spanning decades, Gallagher hosted 14 Showtime specials and around 3,500 live comedy shows, according to his website. The comedian toured America for the majority of his career until the COVID-19 pandemic. In his later years, he starred in a long-running Geico commercial and his first movie, The Book of Daniel. So we're going to watch a quick clip here of Sledge-O-Matic, which was his famous, stage performance here.
That's a really young version of Gallagher.
Yes,
right?
It is.
I didn't even know he died. I didn't know anything about this till now.
Let's see what we got happening. Pause. For the first few seconds he was spinning that hat, I thought he was spinning it on his finger like a basketball, and I was extremely impressed.
Well,
Spinning it?
he was using a handle.
Yeah, there's a handle on it.
Took me a minute. I did not come here tonight to make you laugh. I came here to sell you something. I want you to pay particular attention. Because the amazing Master Tool Corporation, a subsidiary of Fly By Night Industries, has entrusted me, to show you the handiest and the dandiest kitchen tool you've ever seen. And don't you want to know how it works? Well, first, you get out an ordinary apple or two. You place the apple between the pan. Then what do you do, gang? It's simple. You reach for the tool. It is not a slicer. It is not a dicer. It is not a chopper and a hopper. What in the hell could it possibly be?
Oh, the old sledgehammer.
People with plastic sheeting in the front row.
What does it do to let out?
This is straight up looks like the 70s.
Who wants croutons?
Who wants croutons? People starving in Ethiopia are watching this right now and crying.
Pound cake.
I guess it does. You want that cheeseburger to go?
Oh, not the cheeseburger.
What's with that giant crayon?
I don't know.
I'm wondering.
What's happening?
I'm not sure if that guy brought it himself or if he was trying to steal it.
Oh, he's going to do toothpaste.
Oh no.
Looking fresh.
AIM toothpaste.
He threw the thing back at him.
That's the same guy who had the fucking crayon. What's going on?
Oh my
fish.
god, the fish. Oh god, that's gonna be gross.
Oh. What was that?
I am rather suspicious that was not all fish.
Yeah. There we go.
A confetti-filled fish.
The guy's like, yeah, some cake.
Wine? Anyone want wine? Sledge-O-Matic flattens light bulbs for easy storage.
Oh
That
no.
doesn't sound safe.
That's Oh.
No.
People were probably getting nervous.
No ordinary tranquilizer can.
Calico's like, I'm gonna hit this fucking
It
nuclear
works at the root
missile.
of your problem. You're an animal. And you need to release this aggression. Aggression against this damn video game.
Oh boy.
An Atari.
No, it ain't the game, it's this controller! It's the controller!
Can he beat a Nokia phone?
Hey, that was
Honestly, that council seemed to handle that pretty well, honestly.
right.
Even the Nintendo 64
Here we
controller
go.
threw a bomb.
Boom! Dang! It's somewhat survived.
Wonder if it still works.
I said,
So that was
the
Gallagher.
watermelon.
I was to say there was no watermelon. We got ripped
I bet-
off.
I want to see him try to take on a Nokia phone.
Right.
Won't happen.
Those
That
things
would-
should not be destroyed.
He'll
So,
sit there for
uh,
like
that
2
would- that
hours
would-
just
that would've
hitting
broke
it
his
over and
arms.
over again.
So we've got another life who has ended. An icon, Batman star Kevin Conroy has died.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
So I've got a article here. I'm going to read some of. I'm not going to get all of this because it's quite a long article, but you can
Only
check it out on
Batman.
the direct on thedirect.com. Article Batman Kevin Conroy dies. So he is best known for voicing Batman. He died Thursday at the age of 66. After a short battle with cancer, the Peter Mayhew Foundation confirmed on Twitter that Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy passed away. Members of the Batman animated family are reporting that Kevin Conroy has passed away. We had the privilege of attending conventions alongside Kevin over the years and are heartbroken by this news. Diana Pershing, who voiced Poison Ivy in Batman the Animated Series, shared a heartfelt tribute to Conroy on Facebook. Very sad news. Our beloved voice of Batman, Kevin Conroy, died yesterday. He's been ill for a while, but he really put in a lot of time at the cons, to the joy of all of his fans. He will be sorely missed, but not just by the cast of the series, but by his legion of fans all over the world. Below are pictures of Kevin with Lauren Lester, who plays Robin, another with me, and Tara Strong, who is in the later episodes of Batman cartoons. And then finally, one of Kevin and me in front of huge audiences we used to get when we did our panels. Rest in peace, friend. So, an official release from Warner Brothers Discovery. Denny, I don't know if I'm saying that right, sorry, shared his heartfelt thoughts about Conroy. Kevin brought a light with him everywhere, whether in the recording booth, giving it his all, or feeding first responders during 9/11, or making sure every fan who ever waited for him had a moment with their Batman. A hero in every sense of the word, irreplaceable, eternal. And I'll read a couple more here. This one from Mark Hamill, who starred opposite Conroy's Batman as the Joker, said in his tribute that Kevin was perfection. He was one of my favorite people on the planet, and I loved him like a brother. He truly cared for the people around him. His decency shone through everything he did. Every time I saw him or spoke with him, my spirits were elevated. And I've got a little bit of a clip here of the voice of Batman that we can give a look to. So let's watch this. It's about 4 minutes long.
The only Batman.
If you were
in
a
my
kid
opinion.
What was that?
The only Batman, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in the
there's
90s and
nobody can do Batman like Mr. Conroy.
All right.
He is the freaking goat.
So that is the last.
Hold on. Are there any comments on that about that line that he just gave?
I didn't see.
You can reopen closed tab, you know.
I can look down here.
I'm a little curious myself. If anybody made
Yeah, I
any
got it.
snide remarks.
I got it up here. So
I can't read any of that.
the man has literally been the voice of Batman my entire life. Edit, rip Kevin Conroy, my childhood Batman and all-time favorite Dark Knight. Rest in peace to an absolute legend. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on here.
I mean, it's all kind words. I was hoping somebody could have posted something rude or snide so we can all go on there and destroy them.
Right?
What a legend! Don't
Don't
I just
because
saw
I'm still here. You always
Yeah.
will be in our hearts and our heads. Yeah, so it's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We-
I'd say that's kind of wholesome. Let's
It really
accept
is.
it. Let's accept
It
it for
really
being
is. I
wholesome.
will accept it for being as wholesome as it is. However, I will point out, whenever a celebrity dies, no matter who they are, you always see people hop in and say, "Oh, they were so wonderful. They were such a good person." You never see that one person say, "Yeah, that guy was a dick."
No,
Right.
I mean, I can think of a couple actors when they die that people are going to say they were dicks. Chevy Chase being an
Yeah,
example,
I was going to say Chevy Chase.
Right?
It's going to
For sure.
happen. Or, well, when Bill Murray dies, I wonder if Lucy Liu's going to show up and take a fat dump on his coffin.
All right, so we're going to do. I'm not even going to call this a palate cleanser. This is just weird, and I thought that it would get some funny reactions. So I'm assuming this was on Squid Game, where people put these little, like, buzzer thingies in their mouths, and then they try doing funny or hurtful things to somebody, like slapping them and stuff. And if somebody makes the buzzing noise, then they are out.
I mean, it's funny that you say slapping them, and that guy looks like the back of Will Smith's head.
This is so. Let's give this a watch. It's a bit weird, but I think it'll get some good reacts. So we'll give it a look.
Hit him with a fucking belt.
Oh, I've seen something like this.
I thought they were going to slap him in the face. I was like, what?
He squeaked. He squeaked.
Hog.
What happens if you like start?
Oh!
Oh, damn.
Ouch.
Damn.
God,
Was that across his back?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, it's gotta hurt.
He fucking Kunta Kinte'd his ass. Oh!
Oh, that was like so bad. Ouch.
Good lord.
Ow.
There we go. Oh! Oh!
Some
I
of
can
those
only
looked
imagine.
God, that's like right on his spine.
Oh my gosh.
Some of those looked a little personal.
Yeah.
A
I'd
little
say.
bit, but like I can only imagine like later on after they take a girl home from whatever club they're at and they're getting all into it and she's running her nails down his back. He's like, "Whoa, gentle, gentle. I'm tender there from where my homie whipped me."
All right, so
Hey,
I've got
it's like the homies, it
a
ain't gay.
I've got an interesting article here. Huge faceless white blob found on UK beach.
How did my ex get into this?
Wow.
I feel like I've seen this article in previous years and not just this year.
Hey, look, marshmallows.
So, warning contains images of a huge faceless white blob.
Well, thanks for warning us.
Oh,
And that
no.
isn't actually
Oh,
a video.
Oh, these people are such cards.
So let's look in here.
That just looks like it could be like fucking sandbags.
It could be literally anything.
So Helen Marlowe was out walking her dog on Morasian Beach near Penzance in Cornwall. I totally screwed at least one of those up. When she stumbled upon the mysterious white mass topped with a clump of seaweed. Of course, spotting a huge faceless white blob on a British beach is nothing out of the ordinary, but this blob was different. I'm trying to add some suspense and character to
I'm
it.
confused by that statement, just by itself.
I discovered it on the beach at Morasian at around midday as the tide had gone out, she told Cornwall Live. I had no idea what it was. It just looked like a huge mass of something organic. My dog went wild. It seemed quite fresh with no distinctive tears or damage and had no nasty smell. I really had no idea. And it turned out they did have answers. Lots of different answers. I feel like we missed a part of the article there.
Pile of socks.
One person commented, it looks like a weather balloon that's filled with sand. Helen did not go back and cut it open. Understandably, however, experts eventually established it was in fact a whale's gut or stomach.
Oh.
Marine Conservation Officer Abby Crosby said local marine biologists thought it could have been whale placenta, which had been a very exciting discovery. Why? What? Is that a whale supply? I'm going to be so excited if that is a whale placenta.
Fucking stoked. You got Tom Cruise just kind of standing off the side with a knife.
What? However, experts at the UK Cetacean Strandings Investigation Program, CSIP, identified it was a more likely a gut or stomach from a whale. So, this unfortunately wasn't an entirely unusual discovery, but it is a reminder that these animals live along our coastline and can become stranded. However, experts at the UK, or we'll just say CSIP, identified that it was more likely... What? Why am I repeating this? We often get marine manuals. It said the exact same thing over and over again. We have to get marine mammals such as dolphins, whales, and porpoises, collectively known as cetaceans, sadly washing up dead on our beaches at various stages of decomposition. So I'm not going to read that same line again.
Are you sure you're not just having a stroke right now?
No, I am not having a stroke.
I think the cetacean stranding relocation, whatever you called it, thinks it was a whale gut or stomach.
Yeah, I think that's what they think.
Hey, Schloobs, what do you think that is?
I think it looks like something filled with sand, but
I think it looks like a whale's gut or stomach.
I was thinking maybe it could be fungus. I mean, granted, I know it's sand in the beach, but you know, it could be fungus. I don't know.
Honestly, it kind of just looks like Mother Nature being disappointed in us because of all the trash that's around it.
You throw your trash into my water, I'm gonna throw trash on your beaches.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that it's probably, and I mean I'm not sure, but it's probably a gut or stomach from a whale is my guess. But
it looks plasticky to me. But
yeah,
yeah, I think it's either a whale's gut or stomach.
It's probably a whale's gut or stomach.
You know, Tiny Shields does make a good point. Where's the rest of the whale?
That's
I mean, if it's a placenta, that kind of makes sense. But...
The rest of the whale is in heaven with Jesus.
But
whale Jesus.
Do whales just randomly like, meh, I don't need this, and get rid of a gut? Like,
vomit on the. There you go, guys. It's for you.
So, like, boys, I'm getting a bit too heavy. Better drop this gut. Okay.
That's what happens when a whale becomes a gym bro.
That whale didn't skip fin day.
I would expect a whale's gut to be bigger.
I mean, that looks pretty large-ish.
I mean, you might refer to a fat person as a whale, but that doesn't mean whales themselves are in fact fat. They're just very large.
Yeah, I agree.
And now we know their secret. They shed their fat on the beaches.
All right, here's another weird / funny one.
Another whale gut or stomach?
Well, if that's what you want to call King Charles.
Oh, he's definitely a whale gut or stomach.
I mean,
or placenta.
Oh man. Okay. So
King Charles likes other portions of children, if you know what I mean.
Student arrested for egging King Charles says he's banned from possessing eggs in public. I'm sorry, but that's just funny. If they see him walking around with like a dozen eggs, oi!
What's all this then?
Drop the eggs.
I wonder. Wasn't there like a politician wasn't there a British politician that got a dildo thrown at him? Did that guy get the same thing but for dildos?
You're not allowed to have dildos.
You cannot have a dildo in public, sir. You're done. You're cut
He has
off.
to-
I forgot
every time
about
he
that.
every time he buys a dildo, he has to register it with like some kind of
Right. Serial number. Serial number. Anyway.
I wonder what a guy carrying eggs looks like when he gets tased.
Probably like that.
Oh, but they don't have tasers in England, you know? They just have
They don't have-
those
they have
funny
ta- I
little
thought-
bats.
They got the billy clubs.
They got tasers, I thought. They just don't have guns.
Oh, you!
I saw
What's
them
all this
one
then?
time. One time I saw this footage of some woman was out with like this humongous knife, and they just had a bunch of constables around with those huge shields, and they just kind of like kept her distance until she ran out of steam, and then she's like, all right, and gives the gun or the knife back.
That is kind of hilarious.
Anyway,
I
we're
mean,
getting
you
off
can't
track.
you can't escalate the situation if there's nothing.
What
to
we gonna
Right.
do about this one, Nigel? Think like an American there, Shirley. I don't have a gun.
Right. All right. So, a student arrested on suspicion of pelting the king and queen consort with eggs says he has been banned from carrying eggs in public. Patrick Thelwell, 23, has spoken to the media after being released on bail by North Yorkshire police following the incident at Micklegate Bar, York, on Wednesday. He told the Mirror.
Before you continue, he was arrested on suspicion of throwing eggs at the king and queen consort.
Well, that's just
Alle-
legal
allegedly.
terms. That's just legal
Alleged.
terms.
Saying legal terms, and if he did it, he did it. I can guarantee you that if it was him, somebody saw it happen.
Fair enough.
He allegedly.
They call it
So,
allegedly, but no, I wouldn't say so. Anyway.
So he told the
Continue.
Mirror his bail conditions included not going within 500 meters of the king and not possessing eggs in a public space, which he claimed to have had amended so he could go do his groceries, of course. He must have a receipt for the eggs. And in an interview with Jezebel, he said, they thought about it and said, actually, that's a bit harsh. What happens if you want to eat some eggs? The royal couple had just arrived at the city to unveil a statue in honor of the late queen at York Minster when a figure of the crowd threw 4 eggs, all of which missed. He sucks, man.
He didn't even hit the target.
The man was heard to shout, "This country was built on the blood of slaves," as he was detained by police. People in the crowd booed him and shouted, "God save the king." Fucking amateurs. Fucking peasants.
What's
Yeah,
what's
a bunch of
happening recently with
peasants.
activists just throwing foodstuffs?
The people
First it
around
was
there
these
just like,
hippies with the Van Gogh picture.
Go
and now
save-
it's the king.
"Go save my liege. Please don't attack my liege. I'm a lowly peasant." Oh man, that's funny. North Yorkshire police said 23-year-old arrested on suspicion of a public order offense has been interviewed and has now been bailed. Thelwell said the crowd around him reacted with pure rage. Wow. He added he did not
They all
believe.
pulled out their eggs and started pelting him with
Right,
eggs.
right.
I
He added
like it.
He added he did not believe in kings and said everyone should be treated equally, and his protest was about the state of the country and its descent into fascism. Thelwell told the Mirror after I was arrested the experience of that crowd, literally screaming and wailing with pure rage, saying that my head should be on a spike and that I should be murdered on the spot. It doesn't faze me because I understand what fascism is, what it looks like. People were ripping chunks of my hair out. They were spitting at me. People lost their minds. Thelwell told the newspaper he has received death threats. Hot dang. That's rough.
Well,
That's
now
rough.
that people know what his name is, he'll get a lot more.
Right? They totally
Well, I mean, he's got a point though, because I mean,
Thanks a lot,
granted,
Huffington Post.
granted, he's right, because I mean, all he did was throw eggs. I mean, he could have just, he could have
Thrown a little something more dangerous, like a bullet.
Well,
exactly.
But
I
good
mean,
luck finding one of
I
those
say
in
he's-
the UK.
he's from the UK. The most dangerous thing he could find was an egg.
right?
Never mind those gallywampers. What?
So this here, we're gonna do a little bit of a palate cleanser from the eggs. We don't want to get any salmonella, but
I feel
This
like
one
if he had thrown
here,
Marmite, he would have been
there
drawn
was
and quartered.
a little bit of a scene in this grocery store, a little concerning, honestly. Yeah, I'll just let you give it a look and then let me know what you think.
Uh-oh.
Are they having a seizure?
Tickling him.
That is. Oh. Apparently, it's 2008 again.
Oh my! Oh. Man, that guy in the red's getting it.
Yeah,
He's-
they're getting it, dude.
I can't remember the last time I saw a flash mob.
Performance
is
art is
kinda
now
old
and
school.
always has been a joke.
It's kind of old school.
So I don't know. That reminds me of? Have any of you guys seen that video of the Piggly Wiggly that leaked to customers that Mr. Beast was going to come by and like start buying people groceries, and it did like descended into chaos, and then Mr. Beast actually wasn't able to go.
I did not know that.
And they like destroyed the store. Like people were like just filling their carts and shit. Just
Who's that laughing like a man in the background? Tiny Shield says. What were we talking about? The
I
flash
think
mob?
that's part of the song, isn't it?
Oh. Right.
Like that's how the song starts out.
Yeah.
I am not familiar
a-
with Thriller all that much, so I couldn't tell you.
So this one, we got a dad joke. Personal
Uh-oh.
foul.
Oh,
Airport staff find a gun stuffed inside a raw chicken.
Playing chicken, I see.
A passenger tried
people
to...
are taking Thanksgiving way too seriously.
This is a report on canoe.com. A passenger tried a novel way to sneak a gun with them as they traveled. Stick it inside a raw chicken. Transportation...
I feel like that would just raise questions anyway. Like, sir, why do you have a raw chicken?
Yeah, that's what I... When I first heard this, I was talking to Tiny Shields, and I was just like, who carries just like a raw bird? Like...
Oh, well, I can explain that just by reading the first line. Florida,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Florida man strikes again.
An airline passenger... Oh, I'm not going to read that again. But anyway... Transportation Security Administration suspected foul play when they found the gun at the Fort Lauderdale airport, according to Fox. Whoever wrote this article was like, I have this joke and it is going to carry me through this article.
I will get promoted.
Right? They tweeted about the bizarre discovery. There's a personal foul here. Our officers at FLL Flyer made this very raw find. We hate to break it to you, but stuffing a firearm in your holiday bird for travel is just a waste of time. Oh, come on.
Oh my!
Oh, come on.
Oh my god!
We hate to break it to you, so don't wing it. You'll find all the proper packaging info here. Wow, they put is that a Glock? No, it's an M&P Shield.
I don't know guns, so I couldn't tell you personally, but
that's not a Glock. Yeah.
That's an M&P.
That chicken was.
Yeah.
That chicken wasn't playing around.
The liberals will tell you that it's an AR-15.
That's actually that's an AR-1.
Right.
Okay, Ben Shapiro.
That's an AR-17, obviously.
It's an AR-37.
At least
But
they.
either way, yeah, I got to be honest with you. Go back up to the tweet if you would for just a second. Now, I have to wonder. I don't know what ranks are in the TSA, but like, how would the like lead officer at that particular TSA field office feel? He's like, "This is no time for jokes, Dylan. This is serious."
Right.
Yes, I named drop Dylan on purpose. At your expense, Dylan. Thank you.
At least they found humor in the situation. There was no immediate word on the charges. Travelers are required to declare each firearm that is placed in checked baggage. According to the... Hey, could that pass as checked baggage?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I'm pretty sure you can still actually bring a gun with you on a plane. It just has to be in a checked bag and it has to have no ammo.
Any firearms placed in checked baggage must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided container and transported as checked baggage only. Okay, well, there's your answer.
So really, a raw chicken. I mean, come on, that's just chicken shit.
I think really this was just this guy had
keep going with it.
This guy had no. This guy had no container to put his gun in, so he's like, well, I guess I'll just.
I've got to put it in this raw chicken.
Well, I'm just imagining he's at the airport dealing with a really bad hangover, and TSA agent's like, "Sir, why do you have a raw chicken?" He's like, "Where's my baby?"
Dang, dude. All right, we got another palate cleanser here. And then on to the next story. So this one here is entitled Rhythm Is His Middle Name.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Well,
you want to catch it again? It's only...
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
Insert wasted
Hot
meme
dang.
here.
Oh my God.
I could still hear the song though, even though he didn't do it.
Hopefully that 9 seconds of the song doesn't get us copyright blocked. Blocked.
I think the sweet spot is 30 seconds.
Yeah. All right. So the next one we've got here is a doozy. It's a doozy. Woman charged with sending bee swarm on deputies at eviction.
She looks like she was prepared for it.
Yeah, she ain't messing around, dude. Look at this.
Well, obviously they tried arresting a supervillain that can control bees.
That's what happens when you try evicting somebody who bought the DLC. All right, so I'm just saying.
That's Netflix adaptation of Swarm from Spider-Man.
A Massachusetts woman who released a swarm of bees on sheriff's deputies as they tried to serve an eviction notice is facing multiple assault and battery charges. Wow.
For every bee, she's never getting out of prison.
Oh, now she's been doxxed here. Rory S. Woods, 55, pleading not guilty to her arraignment on October 12th in Springfield District Court, was released without bail. Citing court records reported on Wednesday. She and other protesters maintained that they were trying to prevent a wrongful eviction. The homeowner, Alton King, brought evidence of a bankruptcy stay to court the next day, at which point everything should have stopped, said Grace Ross of the Massachusetts Alliance Against Predatory Lending. Wood's lawyer did not immediately respond to a voicemail left by the Associated Press on Wednesday. Hampden County deputies were met by protesters when they went to the home in Longmeadow on the morning of October 12th, according to the official department report. Woods, who lives in Hadley, arrived in an SUV towing a trailer carrying beehives and started shaking them, breaking the cover off one and causing hundreds of bees to swarm out and initially sting one deputy, according to the report. Woods, who put on a beekeeper's suit to protect herself, was eventually handcuffed, but not before several more sheriff's department employees were stung, including 3 who are allergic to bees. Got 'em! Chemical warfare, bitches! When Woods was told that several officers were allergic, she said, "Oh, you're allergic? Good."
She's a shit talker too, I see.
Total Karen, man. Like...
Oh, you're allergic? Good.
Hampden County Sheriff Nick Cocci, I'm just, whatever, Coochie, said Woods
Coochie
could have faced more serious charges if anything worse had happened. We had one staff member go to the hospital, and luckily he was all right, Coochie said. The deputies were simply doing their duty, Chief. Deputy We had a court order that's been presented to us, and it's our job to effectuate that court order. Wow, he's pulling out the big words.
Is that an actual word?
I have no idea.
I'm
I'll have to
looking
look
that
that one up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Hoffman said it was Miss Wood's arrival with her vehicle and her trailer that really caused things to go haywire.
All right, so
Effectuate means to put into force or operation.
Oh, there you go.
Just say that.
what does she do for a living that she just has like access to bees?
You can
and a
see
bee
it in the
suit?
background. Look, you can see the beehives in the
Yeah.
background.
Those are like,
for ass beehives.
well, no, those are like some legit fucking beehives. Like,
She's like, no, don't close that beehive. What the fuck?
She had a fucking army.
Look at her.
she's got a pretty good. I mean,
She's like, good.
what are you in
He's all
for?
shitty.
I was trying to put a buzz in their ear.
Oh, man.
So,
Oh, man.
have you guys ever watched have you ever watched Venture Bros?
No.
No.
Oh, the Venture
No.
Brothers, you mean?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like she's like the real world version of the Monarch. But she's with bees.
I got that reference, but I've never seen the show.
Yeah, it's yeah. The Venture Brothers. If you haven't seen it, it's like a smorgasbord of like superhero comedy, and they've made fun. And there's like so many parodies of like Marvel and DC characters, like Doctor Orpheus is Doctor Strange, or there's Professor Impossible. He's supposed to be a parody of the Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. Like, it's the greatest thing ever.
I just thought of something.
I completely forgot about that. That was a good one.
I just thought of something. Was one of the charges soliciting an assassin because one of those bees was the one that killed Macaulay Culkin in My Girl?
Hot dang. Hot dang. So we got another interesting article here. We're trying to keep it interesting today, but we got to keep the momentum up here. So California baker creates life-sized Han Solo out of bread.
Oh my!
Take a look at this here. Let's
Lot
look
of
at some
bread.
pictures.
Well, that's something.
That's-
Jesus.
Wow.
Why is it so
costs a lot
why
of
is it
dough.
so shiny? I don't think
I
I've
don't
seen
know.
such shiny
Probably
bread in
still
my fucking
dough
life.
at that point.
Yeah.
It's probably pre-baked, or it's glazed with butter. Delicious.
Random guy.
I was just saying, I'm. How do you prevent somebody from just walking up and taking a bite out of it?
I don't know.
Everyone tastes very good. I would
So
imagine.
let's read the article here.
Oh,
Han
I'm just
Solo may be
imagining
a hunk.
somebody walking up and taking a bite out of it now.
Oh,
That
here's
tickles
another
me
dad
for some
joke.
reason.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Han Solo
Oh,
may
no.
be a hunk, but Pan Solo is a hunk of bread.
2 out of 10.
Jeez.
Just-
Jeez. Tough crowd, tough crowd. That's what a bakery in the San Francisco Bay Area has dubbed its 6-foot bread sculpture of the Star Wars character as he appeared after being frozen in carbonite in The Empire Strikes Back. Hannah Lee
$10
Pervin.
says she get $10 says she gets sued by Disney.
Yeah,
100
very
bucks.
true.
Same. I'll take
Sued
that
by
answer.
Disney.
Hannah Lee Pervin and her mother, Catherine Pervin, co-owners of
Pervin.
the One House Bakery in Benicia, California, spent weeks molding, baking, and assembling the life-size sculpture using wood and 2 types of dough, including a type of yeastless dough with a higher sugar content that will last longer. The 2 worked at night. After the day's business was done, the lovingly crafted details show Han Solo's anguished face and his hands straining to reach out. Hannah Lee said she might have gotten a bit obsessed. Mom made me leave it because I was obsessed over the lips. Whoa. Hannah Lee Pervin told the
I
New
don't
York
think
Times.
anybody's been obsessed over Harrison Ford's lips since the 70s.
She was like, you need to walk away.
You don't walk away.
Mom made me leave it. Oh, no. Okay. Creating Pan Solo was particularly meaningful, she told the paper, because she contracted COVID-19 during January 2020 and lost much of her senses of smell and taste. Just to find joy in...
Oh, so it tastes bad.
So just to find
And
joy
smells bad.
in a
didn't
different
think
part
it
of
was.
food is really important, she said. The sculpture is now on display outside the bakery, located about half hour's drive north of San Francisco. Pan Solo is the bakery's entry in the annual downtown Benicia Main Street Scarecrow contest, the public will get to vote on their favorites from among more than 24 creations entered by local businesses. The Pervins, who are a big science fiction fantasy fans, entered another Star Wars themed creation in 2020 featuring The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Unfortunately, Pan Solo won't last forever. The dough eventually will be composted, not eaten. So, as wise Jedi might warn, don't use the forks, Luke.
They did that joke in The Simpsons.
Oh, boy.
They actually did.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah, well...
A stolen meme.
Give it to the homeless instead of composting it.
Right.
Well, it's probably not very edible, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm
well,
saying
it's
it's probably
still-
not super edible.
It doesn't even look it. It looks like it looks like dried
Also,
residue.
What kind of horror scene do you think that would look like? A bunch of homeless people just eating fucking Han Solo.
It would be hilarious, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Phil would hop all over it.
Right.
We got people in the streets eating our celebrities.
So I got a little bit of interest from Dylan saying that you wanted to talk about Gotham Knights. For those of us that are, or those of you that are out there watching, we're going to be switching to kind of more game stuff for the last part of the podcast here. And the first one is Gotham Knights. So we had, the Arkham series, Batman Arkham series that was wildly successful for multiple iterations. And now Gotham Knights comes out, which is kind of like a spiritual successor. They said that it's not in the same Arkham or Gotham Knights or Arkham world or whatever, but it's hard to not compare the two. You know what I mean? So
yes.
We need to just kind of talk about it. What did we think happened? I'll let Dylan kind of get a start here. What were your thoughts? Why do you think that it wasn't successful?
Well, so number one, I didn't play the game yet because I've been very busy with my studies. But however, the reason why that I took interest in this specifically is because other than people know me for being
What are the Avengers doing there?
Yeah. As people know, I'm a huge superhero nerd, and I love both DC and Marvel. And as of late, I've got into the Arkham series because I've heard a lot about them, but I never actually got to play them because I didn't have the consoles yet that had that. Because at the time these came out, I had probably my PlayStation 2 still, and I had a Wii still. So, in neither of those consoles would have had the Arkham series games yet. But however, they recently did a remaster of Arkham Asylum, the first one, and Arkham City, the second one. I played both of those. I had a blast with them. The mechanics were amazing. The graphics were cool. The voice acting was great. It stuck to the source material. There was cool Easter eggs within the DC universe, like for instance, Dr. Hugo Strange in the finale of of Arkham City, he was talking about Protocol 10, which basic Protocol 10 was to kill all prisoners, basically. To get rid of crime, just kill them. Kill all the prisoners. That's how. So, yeah, that's basically what he was doing. And he said that by my Protocol 10 is shown to be effective and it'll be spread out beyond Gotham. And he said Metropolis. I'm like, oh, Metropolis. I don't think Superman's going to like that, but you're welcome to try there, buddy. But anyways, so I guess the point where I'm trying to get at is the Arkham series was fantastic. It was very fantastic. I've still yet to play Arkham Origins, but I heard Arkham Origins is probably the go out of all four of them because I think it's supposed to be deeper. It goes actually deeper into the whole series, I guess. And not to mention, it had Deathstroke as, I think, one of the main baddies. And Deathstroke is a really cool villain that belongs in the Gotham family, if you will. Right. So with that said, and then the finale was Arkham Knight, where basically the Batman was supposed to have, quote unquote, died in that. He died in that game particularly, but actually it was in Gotham Knights where he supposedly died.
Right.
So that's the whole lore behind Gotham Knights. Batwoman, Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood, Damian Wayne version of Robin, and Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing, are supposed to be the Gotham Knights. They're all supposed to be teaming up together to protect Gotham from the criminals and all of them. So I was like, wow, that game looks pretty cool. And I've been to GameStop a couple times. I saw some previews of it before release, and I thought, wow, that looks pretty fucking cool. I mean, hey, and that's cool too. It gives the other Batman heroes some spotlight too. Because again, I know Gotham and Batman, that's the two are always associated together. But however, there was other heroes that were under Batman's wing, and they have protected Gotham too. So they thought, well, yeah, we are making this game, and yes, it's not going to be directly correlated with the Arkham series, but hey, let's give the little guys a chance, eh?
Right.
Well, here's what happened. They're saying that the reason why, what people are thinking, the reason why this game flopped was simply because of the drop in the graphics quality. And also, they said that the gameplay mechanics, such as like the combat mechanics, compared to the other Arkham games, it just looked like they just passed the buck on that. And I've seen some gameplay of it, and I feel like people were maybe nitpicking at that. In my opinion, I'm not saying that they're wrong, particularly because I don't think the combat engine looks as good as the Arkham series games. But however, people got to realize that this is not Batman they're playing as. They're playing as more inexperienced heroes that are not Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's what makes Batman so interesting as a hero in general. He's so good at what he does. It makes him look like he's superhuman, but really he's just a human that just is excellent at martial arts because he's mastered every freaking single one out there.
Something I saw that I think kind of attributes to that is a lot of the mechanics in this game do definitely look like they were just kind of lazily done, and they didn't go through and actually flesh them out. So one example being, like in the Arkham games, when you go through and you summon the Batmobile, you can literally hear it roaring through the city and like driving up to you, and like you get in it and you can drive it and fucking blow right through cars and stuff like that. In this game, if you go through and you summon the motorcycles, like vehicles, it just appears. Like it goes through and just kind of phases into existence. And then just even the mechanics of driving the motorcycles is not like well done. So you go through and you run into a car, you immediately stop. Like it doesn't ramp over cars or nothing. It doesn't it's just the actual the gameplay itself. I think people are fine with the story. Like that was what attracted me personally to the story. It was okay, cool. We get to see more of these other characters, and I think it's even supposed to have a little bit of a multiplayer component to it too.
Right.
But did you just see that on the screen where like the motorcycle comes in and it's just like it just phases in, and it's not.
This is one of the videos I watched, and they were literally just talking about exactly what you're talking about. They didn't. So, from what I gathered, I watched a few reviews of it. Essentially, it's like Shaloopy Stack is saying, not as much care was put into it. And it seems like there are quite a few features, like the combat, that was essentially kind of like almost like a copy-paste. And, I mean, by all means, it's done the same way that you would expect it to be in an Arkham game, but the problem is like, just because you have a combat system that's functional doesn't mean that you just use that as like your golden parachute there. And pretty much everybody is saying that 90% of the game is combat. Like there's really not a whole lot of puzzle solving. There's also kind of the hints of the possibility that they were just they had this, they think, planned as a live service game, but then kind of maybe went back on that last second. And I know that there was a delay in the release of the game that
there was.
That could maybe lend some credence to that. Of course, the actual studio themselves aren't going to do that. They're not going to admit to that probably, but essentially there's this live service component that if the quality was that and it was a live service game, that's understandable. But for it to be a standalone game with some co-op in it, I think a lot of people were disappointed at the quality of the graphics, the quality of like some of these other, niceties. The combat is okay at best. It's been something that's been, replicated numerous times over the years. It's not something new like in the Arkham series. So it's just kind of a same old, kind of what Far Cry has done to that series. They did the same thing to the, Gotham Knights, and, in the same respect for the Arkham series, which they've multiple times, once again, they have said this is a completely separate game, completely separate universe, but I'm sorry. You can't just say that and be true.
That's just an excuse, yeah.
Yeah, you can't say that and it be true. It's the same company. Yeah.
Yeah, WB Games Montreal is the one who developed it. So that is a pretty weak excuse.
I don't know why people are saying the graphics aren't that good. I think the graphics are fine.
It's because, like I said, I think they were nitpicking at that a little bit, in my opinion, because they did a side-by-side comparison with Gotham Knights, the way that the water looks in Gotham versus Arkham Knight, the way the water looked, and the water looked more fluid. It looked more very
more watery.
well. Like I said, I think it was a nitpick, but that was one of their arguments. Like, see, look at the water is basically what they're saying, because in Arkham Knight, the water looked more realistic. It looked more fluid, and it looked, like water in real life. As to the ones in Gotham Knight, it looked more. It just looked a little bit more animated and a little too much CGI there than there was actual realism behind the animations behind the waves of the water. Again, that's just one. There's more obvious. There's more to that too. But that's just my defense in saying that's why they're nitpicking with the graphics thing. And what many people don't keep forgetting is that graphics don't make the game good. It's the gameplay itself and the idea behind the game. Because if that was the case, then vast majority like games of like Minecraft or the Go of RPG games, Chrono Trigger, they would have failed immediately because their graphics are not that great, especially Chrono Trigger. They're all sprites. A lot of things are like probably 16-bit at best, perhaps, and that's about it. But what makes Chrono Trigger so awesome is the story, the customization of the characters' names, as well as the cool, like like you don't see what the armor or the weapon looks like for the most part, but it's just the names. Leave it to your imagination. You just kind of think, like, one of them is called my favorite armor in Chrono Trigger is called the Nova armor, and it just makes me think Nova armor. Wow, that thing sounds fucking cool. I have no idea what it looks like, but it sounds fucking cool. So it just leaves it to the imagination to imagine it what this Nova armor is. That's my point. And plus the bosses are cool, and not to mention the designs were created from Akira Toriyama, who was the artist of Dragon Ball Z and Dr. Slump, and he's iconic for Dragon Ball, of course. That's what made Chrono Trigger such a successful game, and it's such like one of the most legendary games that Square Enix has ever created. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the graphics I don't think are that bad. Could they be worse? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, they could. And could they be better? Why the hell not? There's a lot of things that could be better in any game. But, however, I just don't think that Gotham Knights should be getting shit on so much simply for the fact that, because like what Schloob and Jason was saying, that, they tried to say, oh, well, it's supposed to be from a separate universe than than the Arkham series. But, however, we were trying to do more this than that. That is a stupid excuse. That is it sounds like a cop out. It really does. But I just found it very interesting overall that this game was very highly anticipated, and the trailers looked great. I thought the game was going to be pretty good. I didn't think it was going to be, as good as the Arkham series, obviously, because like I said, the Arkham series is just amazing overall because it's got good voice acting. It's got all the iconic and even the lesser iconic Batman villains like Victor Zsasz, the Cold Call Killer. He was in Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, and he's just a crazy psycho murderer is all he is. He doesn't have any powers. He's just a crazy psycho killer. That's all he is. He got mentioned in that, and hell, he even made it a brief appearance in Injustice 2. So, I guess my conclusion with this is that I just don't think that I think Gotham Knights might have been held a little too high of standards, simply for the fact that it was made by the same company, which is WB Games Montreal. And I just feel like that maybe Gotham Knights should not be shit on as much as it should be. But I mean, could it have been better? Yeah, definitely. Because I could agree that the combat system in the game looked like it was just kind of thrown out there and just be like, okay, feel like it. It's Batman. Don't give a shit.
For sure. So I think that it's just because they kind of made it very live service, and they kind of did a live service feel. And I was also, I remember that the talents and, you know, just different talent trees and stuff like that, and like the way they did the armor was just not particularly, I guess, notable or fun. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't play the game. I did do some research into it to see what people were saying as to why they didn't like it, though. But
to me, it seems like it's going to be a game that it'll probably improve over time. They'll patch it later on, and
right.
I can only hope.
So the next one we've got.
Before you move on, just let you know, while y'all were discussing this, I did the research that everybody wants to do, but nobody wants to admit to it. I mean, Gotham Knights, when was it released?
Last month.
Oh,
I already know what you're going to say. There's a
lot of Rule 34 of it out there already. Just saying.
God damn it.
With how Poison Ivy looked in that video, I'm telling you.
There probably was before the game even released.
Guaranteed.
Do you know how many? Do you know how much porn of Harley Quinn is out there before Injustice was out?
Are you gonna check for this next game that we're gonna see here?
We'll see.
So, Among Us VR. I'm gonna go over
definitely.
and have us.
I'm gonna check for sure.
I'm gonna look at. We're gonna check a video out of kind of a review from IGN. So let's give it a look.
Instead of dead bodies reported, it's used bodies
Among Us
reported.
VR understands what made the original version of Inner Sloth's murder mystery game so special when it came out in 2018 and brought near endless shenanigans, placing 10 people inside a spaceship while 2 imposters try to murder everyone. This ground-up VR remake is a refreshing take on the premise that recaptures that suspense while introducing exciting new dynamics. Though its missing features and maps may prove disappointing to veterans, what's here is a great time that works gracefully. Right now, it's one of this year's best VR games. It's hard to overstate just how polished Among Us VR feels when playing. Shell Games has adapted it to virtual reality well. The cel-shaded 3D art style works to great effect, and switching to first-person gameplay proves natural. Walking around a recreation of the scaled spaceship map and using motion controls to carry out tasks feels a lot more immersive when you're intuitively fueling engines with a manual pump and priming shields by touching the screen. As always, how well a social game like this works comes down to who you're playing with. But in VR, there's a greater sense of presence when everyone's staring at you. Among Us VR faithfully recreates the original's template and once again splits us between crewmates and imposters. Within a 4 to 10 player online match, crewmates must complete several randomly assigned tasks across the scaled before they're all stabbed in the back. Some tasks aren't particularly exciting, like waiting around for a data transfer, but the real joy comes from the social gameplay surrounding it. Still, there's several new tasks that make creative use of VR. The admin room, for instance, has a new retinal scanner that requires you to stand still for a few moments to verify that someone's not an imposter. Which isn't terribly exciting, though Medbay's whack-a-mole minigame is entertaining. As an imposter, your only goal is convincing everyone that you're just another crewmate, even as you're deviously killing them off and trying to get away with it. There are plenty of creative avenues for murder, such as jamming doors or causing a blackout, knowing that imposters can see in the dark. Or you can go big by sabotaging the ship by depleting the oxygen or causing a reactor meltdown, which are instant wins if crewmates leave them unfixed for too long.
Alright, so everybody pretty much knows how to play Among Us. It looks like the features are a little bit more streamlined, a little bit better, slightly better graphics, different perspective.
Emphasis on slightly.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, so there was already a VR chat mod that did the Among Us thing. So I feel like a lot of the work for this was already kind of done for them. Obviously, they had to remake it themselves, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not surprised to see it as a title for VR. I think it's a title that works really well in VR.
Oh, you can recreate it in Minecraft.
But I don't know. To me, it's no surprise that it came out, and I think it looks cool. But I don't know if I'll be playing it anytime soon.
Yeah,
but I already see something that's going to happen with that eye scanner thing, where you're going to into a game, and somebody's going to be like, "All right, everybody line up, and we all go to the eye scanner." They're going to try and
but I don't think
control the lobby, but
I don't know if that actually, because I don't know, for one, if well, number one, there actually was a scanner that works like that, but it's just a body scanner instead to confirm your identity. But I don't think it's going to be as practical as it sounds, because I think that's just a way of, just giving the players more something to do with the task while, they get waited to get their dicks chopped off by the imposter.
You're sounding pretty sus right now, Dylan.
Right.
It was blue, motherfucker. I saw it.
You're wearing blue.
So, wanted to cover that because I know a lot of people do like the game. I'm not going to go beat a dead horse. I'm not personally a fan of Among Us, but I'll let it go. I'll let it go. I'm sure people will like it.
Would have got him.
All right, so next one that I want to check out, I'm definitely going to check this out because I think it's on day one release Game Pass, but Goat Simulator 3.
I am personally not a fan of Goat Simulator, especially.
There's a
so
third
silly,
one
though.
Whoops.
Oh boy.
What?
And special and beauty and fitness and mindfulness.
You're a rhino? What the fuck?
Or a star?
Whoa.
Whoa, okay, what's happening right now? I'm so lost right now.
You should be.
So I'm just saying,
What
the other
hell did I just
Utter.
know?
the other goat simulators
Unleash your
were
potential.
hilariously just bad. Like they were purposely and hilariously bad. I played some of them. I'm not personally into them either, but I know that my son loves it.
To me, they're just like ragdoll simulators.
Right.
Well, yeah, they are.
Like there's
but,
no,
I mean,
there's no objective. Like there's nothing to do. But it looks like
Oh,
there
there are objectives.
Oh, are there?
I can confirm that for sure. Yep.
I'll tell you, having played the first one specifically, there are little, basically achievements that you go for.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited because with the release of Goat Simulator 3, I finally will know for sure and realistically so what it's like to be a goat.
Right?
I mean, you're not going to know that until they come out with Goat Simulator VR.
That's true.
I wonder how many.
shit.
I wonder how many Tom Brady jokes are going to be in that game.
Hopefully none.
Yeah. I was
Give me
gonna
a
say.
Wayne Brady joke.
All right, so the next one we've got Evil West. And this one has co-op, and I would like to play. I think I mentioned this to you before, Shalubi Snack. I think this would be something that would be cool to play. It's called Evil West, as I mentioned before. Let's give it a look on this gameplay overview.
Careful, Jason. People are very concerned about their identities now. He prefers to go by Yay.
Welcome to Evil West. A dark menace consumes the American frontier. Rise up to become a Wild West superhero and eradicate the vampire threat. That's mine. In this narrative-driven action-adventure, you'll battle through an explosive campaign, alone or with a friend, as myths and legends come alive.
Smash! You didn't see that coming.
Beasts and bloodthirsty creatures lurk in the shadows, in this twisted vision of the Old West.
Okay.
You play as Jesse Rentier, a vampire hunter raised by his father William in the ancient Rentier Institute.
My father in his office?
He is.
The last line of defense between humanity and the unrelenting supernatural forces. Jesse is already a well-trained hunter, though he can be unpredictable, rebellious, and stubborn.
Maybe you'll make it out of this after all.
Fortunately, you can always count on your partner Edgar, a retired Rentier agent forced back into action as a deadly vampiric conspiracy emerges from the darkness and deals a crippling blow to the Institute. Together, you'll lead the counterattack against these monsters, while Jesse learns to accept his growing responsibilities and become a leader.
A leader.
Explore every corner of the Wild West. From vast oil fields to infested mines and mighty canyons to shadowy ghost towns. As you progress on your journey, you'll encounter new
Devil May
friends,
Cry Yeehaw
vital
edition.
for bolstering your forces against the
I don't think it'll be
vampire
Devil May Cry.
but even more new foes.
It'll probably be like Gears of War.
Evil West is all about over-the-top, high-octane action. Combine and customize all the tools at your disposal to defeat the supernatural hordes with style and efficiency. As you rebuild the Rentier Institute, you'll unlock a growing arsenal of weapons and equipment. Make use of your trusty revolver for fast and reliable damage at close to mid-range. With the rifle, you can directly target and hit enemy weak spots for devastating damage. Bullseye.
Dang.
Need more raw power? You'll want the Rentier Boomstick. A heavy-hitting, sawed-off shotgun ideal for close combat.
Gotcha.
Unusual threats require unusual tools. And sometimes a good lightning-powered punch is just what you need. The Rentier Gauntlet is one of the most advanced technological achievements from the Institute Research Laboratory to date.
Is that an earthworm?
Christ, what happened
like
here?
it. Like
There's a lot of deadly tools to try out in battle. It's up to
An
you
ass
to
blaster.
mix and match these tools, combined with melee and ranged attacks to create powerful combos while dodging, blocking, and parrying your way to victory. Each weapon and tool in your arsenal has its own skill tree, letting you upgrade and customize your playstyle even further. Infuse weapons with the power of lightning, or supercharge your gauntlet to unleash an endless ballet of dazzling punches.
Perfect.
The world of Evil West is full of mysteries to uncover. And, well, colossal foes to take on.
Dang.
Become the ultimate vampire hunter.
Dipshit.
When Evil West releases on consoles and PC.
Looks pretty good.
It does. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have anything funny to say about that. It just looks like a good game.
One complaint I have about the way that trailer is presented is, why the fuck do you have to have somebody explaining what I'm seeing on the screen the entire fucking trailer?
Right.
I'll give you that, but
And so I would have much preferred if that trailer was more like just a showcase of what the gameplay looked like with like a music score behind it, kind of like they had towards the end of it. And I don't know, just the trailer itself wasn't.
I mean, they're doing
great,
that
in
because
my
of
opinion.
TikTok. You know that, right?
What, talking over it?
Yep.
well, they
What-
have
how
to
was
do
that-
that
what
because
does
the
that have
average
anything to do
person
with
that uses
TikTok?
TikTok is not smart enough to
Dude,
realize what's going on
TikTok
the screen.
is annoying in that way where
Right.
they have to have the TikTok narrator do narration over everything.
I'm touching my keyboard.
Yeah.
I am typing. Ha 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 ha. God's annoying. I hate TikTok. Yeah, that game actually looks pretty creative, and it looks like it. Depending on just how the gaming community takes it upon release, it could be a game of the year candidate because it looks like the graphics look pretty. They look pretty cool.
There's some good shader work.
Oh yeah, definitely. The vampires. I'm not really a vampire person. I'm more of a zombies person. I like to go against zombies, but however, the vampires, they actually look like something they're worth fighting, not something I'm just like really a vampire. Because I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the way vampires are nowadays, I can't take them serious. I can't. I just cannot.
Right.
But no, those actually look like, hey, wow, that thing looks very terrifying. I think I want to go kill it. That's why I want. Yeah, if you're gonna make a game with zombies or some sort of like supernatural cosmic horror, make it scary. Make it something that makes me think, wow, if I were to let this thing live, this thing could be a huge threat. I need to get rid of this thing. Not really this thing.
Right.
Really. You're not even worth the bullets I'm gonna waste on. You're not even worth the bullets that I paid for. Come on.
You know, have any of you guys seen the movie Priest?
Yeah,
Heard of
a
it.
long time ago. Yep.
I got a lot of vibes of that from that trailer.
Yeah, kind of. I can see
Like
that.
the vampires looking like savage actual monsters instead of just a dude with too big of a collar, and
Yeah.
cowboys and all that. That just thematically they look kind of similar.
Now you're just making me think of that Abraham Lincoln movie.
The Abraham
thinking
Lincoln
that
Vampire
too.
Hunter was awesome, and you know it.
So I'm going to cover two more here, and then we'll be towards the end here. So this one I'm going to cover just because Tiny Shields will most likely be streaming this upon release. And we'll be putting some kind of reactions and maybe montage videos of her leveling here. But World of Warcraft Dragonflight is going to be
Yay!
coming out November 28th. So let's give a look at and see what this hands-on preview is from IGN and what they found.
Coming off the heels of Shadowlands, which garnered significant criticism for its endgame content and its story, World of Warcraft's 9th expansion, Dragonflight, has a lot to prove. Fortunately, for those of us who have been wondering when the fog around the Dragon Isles might finally lift, Blizzard is at last preparing to launch its alpha, and I was able to get a brief, limited taste of what the dragons have in store for us. I could have spent hours fussing with the Drakthir
Hours? Come on. Come on.
Evoker character creator, customizing every detail of both the draconic and human forms of WoW's new hero class. It's the most robust character creation Blizzard has made yet, though at least some part of that is due to the Drakthir's unique draconic forms, requiring a custom armor set rather than taking on the appearance of whatever armor they have equipped. It definitely makes the character creators for Blizzard's older races look woefully thin, though, and I hope once Drakthir are locked in, some of that love will get shared around. I got a decent tour of the ranged magic abilities of the Evoker's Devastation specialization, which is a curious toolkit that deftly mixes crowd control, multi-target damage, and movement. I enjoyed the novelty of the new charged ability, Fire Breath, though currently its quick charge time doesn't make the wait feel like much of a sacrifice. I'd like to see Blizzard do more with the risk-reward trade-off involved here, and I'm interested to see if charge abilities are dynamic enough to become a permanent staple of Evoker gameplay. Another aspect I enjoyed was the crisscrossing customizability of both the Evoker talent tree and the Devastation tree. Devastation splits off into fire-themed and arcane-themed branches, while the Evoker tree has a side dedicated to crowd control and another dedicated to healing, so you can either make focused choices or mix and match. The differentiation in the trees feels almost like picking subspecializations, an idea that I hope will be carried out similarly with other classes too. My brief stint in the Dragon Isles took me to the Azure Span, a region defined largely by its verticality and its rainbow topography. There's no denying that World of Warcraft looks increasingly dated the longer it goes on, but interesting color palettes, architecture, and geography can do a lot to mitigate that. If the Azure Span ends up emblematic of the rest of the Dragon Isles, then Dragonflight on the whole might not be too bad to stare at for the next 2 years or so of expansion content, especially from the air. The best bit of Dragonflight thus far is its dragon riding, which is far more than just a repackaged flight feature. The Azure Span was a great testing ground, allowing me to leap off its tallest cliff faces and swoop down into the valleys below at high speeds. I was able to build speed on declines that was then spent as I soared upward again, but I could also spend energy on a special stamina meter, called Vigor, to flat back upward or zip straight ahead even faster. With a bit of practice, I was mapping out flight paths from the Azure Span's highest peaks that took me all the way across the zone. The Azure Span I soared through wasn't finished yet, so I'm hoping its final cut includes more in the way of interesting flying tests or quests that can only be completed by mastering the swooping skills I was tooling around with. And the climbs back uphill when your energy is spent are about as enjoyable as dragging your toboggan up a mountain after a gleeful sled down. But Blizzard has clearly left room for more skills to be unlocked that could trivialize this problem for those who invest enough in their dragons. Given what I saw here, I'm optimistic that dragon riding will only shine brighter the further characters progress into Dragonflight.
Well, there you go.
With just a few hours to spend in pre-alpha, and some pretty significant training wheels on, it's hard to get an exact idea of how Dragonflight will shape up. I didn't get a solid grasp of where the main story was going, but I did spend a lot of time doing very World of Warcraft activities like collecting pine cones and killing air elementals. I fussed with the new crafting menus, but so much of their success depends on resource availability, economy, and tuning that it's tough to get a handle on whether this is more than just an interface improvement. Similarly, UI customization appears to still be in its infancy, so while I'm optimistic for the feature, we're likely in for a lot of tinkering before anyone can say whether we should ditch all our old add-ons or not. That doesn't even mention all the keys to endgame: dungeons, PvP, long-term story progression, and raids. For now, though, the Dragon Isles seem a welcoming enough place, and are certainly worth the vigor it takes to swoop and soar around. I'm curious to see whether Blizzard can ultimately deliver on its grandest promises for its long-awaited Dragon expansion, especially at such a chaotic time for the company and the studio.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm glad that got mentioned as well. I thought Blizzard was like getting boycotted by like a lot of its fan base. Last I heard, unless that blew over.
I haven't heard anything about it recently.
They've got bought out by Microsoft, and the
that's right,
Bobby Kotick, I think, is no longer the head of it anymore, which he was kind of one of the bigger problems in my opinion. But one last one. We're getting towards the end of the stream here. Tiny Shields confirms he gone. And I just want to mention, we are going to be putting some footage videos on the Squeezebox from Tiny Shields in regards to Dragonflight. Probably a couple different classes that she'll be playing, so be on the lookout for that. This last one here, I am probably most excited about. The new Warhammer 40k game, Darktide, is going to be coming out, which will mirror very much what Vermintide was. But I think from what I've been hearing of people who have tried the betas, have tested this quite a bit, it's going to be even better, maybe. We'll see. But let's check out this 2-minute HD gameplay trailer to see what we think about this new iteration of the Warhammer series.
Manufacturer of HL1736 is heading towards a power systems failure thanks to a bit of heretic sabotage. So you're going to restore the coolant and hopefully save the day. Get in, access the operations array, and use the cryonic rods to flush the system. Preferably before something explodes. Head on through the ventilation tunnels and look for an access point.
This way! Move it!
Dang.
Ooh, that's some brutal combat right there. Ooh, oh!
Set your data interrogators. If all goes well, we can unlock the system, prime the rods, and send them where they're needed.
Target is clear! Engaging!
Looks wild, dude.
It does.
That's the first part done. Get to the base of the matrix spire and put those cryonic rods to work. What are you waiting for? Get
His
in
head
your
popped off.
Hot goes the weasel.
Come on, now! You finished here? Look for a way out.
Dang. So I gotta say, that game looks pretty wild. I didn't give any dates on these, so I'll just go down them really quick. Among Us VR, November 10th, so that's already out. Goat Simulator 3, November 15th. The 22nd is Evil West release date. Dragonflight will be releasing November 28th. And, like I said, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide will release November 30th. So that is the podcast. Let's go around for some final comments here. Let's start with Slooby Snack. What'd you think? Any crazy things to kind of just end the podcast with?
I don't know. I don't know if I really have anything actually in the moment.
Right on. Okay. What about you, Dylan?
Well, I'm pretty picky when it comes to the games that I like to play. I'm very, very particular. And usually if I like a certain game, I usually like to stick with it and try to like explore it as deeply as possible. But Evil West, I will say that game, like I said, I am not a vampire person by any means. I've always mocked the very idea of vampires, especially the origins of the vampire as well, like the true origins. But that game makes me actually want to play it and actually want to go attack vampires now instead of zombies, because I've been dealing with zombies for many, many years. Call of Duty, Dead Island, Dead Trigger. What are some other games I've played? Man, I played so many. There's some I can't even keep track in my head. Sure. But like I said, vampires, they just don't do it for me. But Evil West, something that hits a little different.
Sure. Mike, what do you got?
Well, I've never really been a huge fan of Warhammer 40k. I didn't mind Warhammer Fantasy so much, but 40k just didn't do it for me. I mean, the futuristic aspect to it, just not my style. But that one looked fun. It really did. I mean, I just downloaded Vermintide about a week ago because it was free, and I still haven't touched it, but I intend to try it out. Yeah. Now, as far as the Goat Simulator 3, I really hope that that it ends up being just as nonsensically fun as the rest of them. For Dragonflight, not going to touch it because I basically sworn myself off World of Warcraft. Yeah. For the simple fact that I kind of obsessed a little too much over it in the past. But either way, also wash your goddamn balls, all right?
Yeah. So
gotta keep them boys clean.
Do it.
I'm going to switch over to the audience here. If this is content that you like, please hit that like button if you're watching us on Facebook, also on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube later on. Also, follow us on Twitch. All of those links will be in the description of the video. And we haven't said this for a while, and I feel like we need to kind of go back to it as a regular show ending here. Ending thing here is that if you are suffering from a mental illness or are thinking about committing suicide, please go seek help. There's got to be someone in the world that would be upset or saddened by your passing. Heck, I'll be upset and saddened by your passing, so please reach out before you make any harsh decisions there. But as always, I appreciate everybody for participating in the comments. I appreciate the co-hosts here. Got Dylan Schloobs, Mike for showing up week by week and providing some wonderful entertainment here. And last but not least, Tiny Shields, thank you for helping out with the podcast doc this week. We had some really funny ones on there, and she picked those out herself. So thank you for that. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.